the album is really into the moment of the revolution. And once again, it's not a peplum. We are not doing a historical work or anything. It's just that the spirit of the album is very close to this French figure of the revolution.
We are here with Heimoth and Saint Vincent of Seth, the black metal institution from France. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today. A new album is coming. It's always a lot of talk and buzz and busy schedules. So first question, how are you guys doing today?
Doing really good. It's been a hectic day, but good. Thank you.
Yeah, good as well. Very excited with the releasing of the new album to come.
Yeah. So let's go straight into that. The album, La France des Maudits, comes out on July 14th. That is obviously not a coincidence. This album comes out on Bastille Day. With a title like that, which can be interpreted, I guess, in both the cursed France or France for the cursed people. That's no coincidence. Were either of my interpretations of the title correct, or am I completely off here?
It's correct. Yeah, that's good. Well, first meaning is France of the cursed people, France of the damned, but it's open to your interpretation. The title is...
Yeah. Now, obviously, album coming out on Bastille Day, the day of France that everybody is celebrating. A double meeting there for sure. We're diving deep into revolutionary times on this album. Almost like a concept album indeed. I think I remember from the first PR statement that was sent to people like myself to review the album and all that kind of good stuff, that the spirit of Robespierre is in this album. And so I'm curious to get your perspective on that, because, Robespierre, rebellious for sure, a leader of the rebellion, but also the creator or the architect of La Terreur afterwards. And his life came to a sudden stop as well, not too much later. A person that, exemplifies the whole idea of when rebels become popular or have a sudden rise to power, that always corrupts, or how do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, I guess on the very first basic point that Seasonist wanted to underline with Robespierre's guy is that like a message like beware for your head while listening to the album, like it's a cutting head album.
Yeah.
For the straight and straight parts, but you are very right. Robespierre is emphasizing this rebel spirit that was incarnated during the revolution, and so is a very good example and very good incarnation of it with but you summed it already, all the excess parts, like he just was very violent with other people and he finished it the same way, so it's really like a die by the sword feeling, like you use the violence and you die of it. And the question is very interesting. Are all the revolution, is that what you ask, are condemned to be violent? That was it? What did you say exactly?
Well, I'm like, he's an example of, when a rebel rises to power, that tends throughout history, that tends to corrupt very quickly as well. And maybe there is, I don't know how I feel about that, but is there a metaphor in there for black metal bands as well? Because, we get black metal bands that are really cool and underground, but the moment black metal bands get a little bit popular, everybody in the scene can't wait to yell poser and sell out to you. Is there a link there?
That's very interesting what you say. Extremely interesting. Thank you. I wouldn't say that we pushed the thinking about the concept to the point that is the revolt getting corrupt as well, because that's a good concept for the next album. But now the the album is really into the moment of the revolution. And once again, it's not a peplum. We are not doing a historical work or anything. It's just that the spirit of the album is very close to this French figure of the revolution. We are after the album, the former album La Mort sur le Christ, at the very end. So as you know, the cover is and the concept of La Mort sur le Christ is the burning of Notre Dame, which was emphasizing the end of spirituality in Western Europe and religion. And the very last song is the Triomphe, Le Triomphe de Lucifer, the triumph of Lucifer. And in the lyrics, you have like on the ashes of Notre Dame, the light of Lucifer is coming and giving freedom and power to all the cursed people. Like a new age is coming, and so all their rage is able to flow out and to destroy everything of the past idols. It's the destruction. It's like very Nietzschean in a way, like the destruction of the idols. And so the album is really at this moment, and of course there is explosion of violence, explosion of all the rage and the power that was once condemned to not be able to be expressed. And to be honest, the concept has not gone to the point to like, but it's a very interesting point. Are all the revolution condemned to be corrupted as well? Which personally I might think actually. So I think that's very interesting because I would say that the tyrant is always the tyrant when there is a revolution. When he's smart and is really powerful, he's always trying to get his advantage of it. And sometimes you should not fight against it, but just let it come and corrupt it from the inside. So that's a very interesting topic, but not the one developed on the album.
You mentioned as well the release date, and actually this was a suggestion from the label because the album has been recorded for many months. We were done by the end of August, but it's been very, very busy for the label. There were a lot of it's like after COVID, there are so many bands that just don't have to release their albums now that like every band has been queuing, and we had to wait for quite a long time, and they said, "Okay, you're just waiting, so why not actually waiting and release that album on the 14th of July?" And we're like, "Okay, let's do it. Let's wait for two extra months, and that should be it. I mean, would be a great idea."
You guys are clearly. This is a band that is, you say yourself, we're not taking you on a historical walk necessarily. You're not, this album is not meant to be a documentary or anything like that. But it's clear what the importance of history means to you, and then also the stories that you're telling and how they're being told. And that's a little bit my semi-forced segue into the lyrics that you guys have written. You use a more classic version of French language, the French Alexandrine, which is a very specific poetic meter. Golden Age French poetry was using that a lot. It's clear that these things matter to you. And so my question for you is, like we were joking before we started recording it, yeah, I do speak some French as well, and I can dig into it. The masses that are going to listen to your or album, they're going to listen to it and they're first going to think, oh, I like it or I don't like it. And if I like it, great, I'm going to have a good time with it. But only a very small part of your audience will have the tools, the linguistic tools, if you will, to really dive into what you're saying and get all the intricacies and so on. Is that for you? Is that okay for you? Or does that, do you feel like that's unfortunate? Because given all the passion and time that you guys clearly pour into it.
Yeah, I think it would be sad to not be okay with it. Personally, I when I write the lyrics, I write it for it's a bit pretentious, but for art and for myself. I want to do the best I can, to make at the limit to push away the limits of my possibility and to make the best of it. Then there is two options. I'm very glad when some of the people, because I know that not all the people will understand all the subtleties. But first, I'm glad that when even few people are understanding it, it's really, it's giving lots of. I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a second aspect, is that I think that when you are achieving the best art you can, you don't need to understand it. It should go over its own. You don't need to analyze it. It should work by itself. And then, even if you don't know all the subtleties, all the ways it was done, you should just get, if the work is good, all the feeling of it, all the magic that is coming out of it. So that is also a goal when you are doing so much effort that you know that people will not notice. I think it's the same as a musician doing lots of subtleties in the technical parts with the guitars and so, and most of the people don't even know what is going on if they're not musicians. Just feel the music and it works. So I hope it will work the same with the lyrics.
I guess the main thing is that we sing in French anyway. So I mean, a lot of people just don't understand, even if they like it. I mean, they like enjoy the sound. Maybe they don't. But considering that we do like sing in such a marginal language, we know that we're going to face in a way criticism, or people who don't like it, but or people who just don't understand. So in a way, we can add some more difficulties, and it wouldn't change much, but it's good for us, I guess.
You go into this album clearly with an idea and a plan to create this particular story. You know what era of time you want to go into. Is that fueling how the music is written first and foremost, or is that still happening, at different random times? Like, do you guys come up with that language, those lyrics, the specifics, and then write music to support that? Or can people in the band just come up with really cool ideas and then you find a way to make that work in the story?
Exactly the opposite. Actually, Imoth is writing all the music. First, is writing the songs with all the guitars and drums and bass and so. There is some, but he will explain it himself, or it's working with the other musician, because we have some feedback. He's listening to our feedbacks and so adapting it. And then I need to have as much as the song as possible, because it creates me like the musical universe where I can build up all the feeling in the stories. I had the concept quite much before the music. Well, it was small ideas, but it got more and more constructed, built. But then to really feel the ambience and all the themes of all the subjects of all the songs, I need to have everything. I like to have the global pictures. Mm-hmm. I think in the future I may try to work differently, but on this album it worked like that. Created everything, and I had the ideas of the revolution and this after the sequel of the La Morceau du Christ, and then all the themes, the subjects, and the songs, the lyrics got built on the music of Imoth.
I think it kind of makes sense. We play metal music, we don't play rap music. I mean, when you play like very lyrical music, you most of the time start with the lyrics themselves. So it kind of makes sense. But it doesn't mean that this is set in stone, and this might change in the future. And to give a little more leeway for the lyrics and for the singings as well, it might be a good idea to do it the other way around in the future.
Yeah. Now,
but I like, just to say, I really like when I'm writing lyrics to listen to the riff, the guitar riff, and you listen to it like 100 times, and one moment you're like, it's speaking to yourself. So finally, the lyrics I'm writing on it's really what I hear when I'm listening to it.
The difference between the Injustice for All and then the black metal and the Black Album of Metallica, I think in the Black Album, at some point they might have started with the lyrics, and that's how it sounds to me. Like this is not that much riffy in a way, and it gives a lot of leeway to the singing.
Yeah. Now, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but for me, as I understand French, I can speak it, but I'm not native. My view on French language and music is, you were saying, Jaime, like, we don't do rap where you start with the language, but also within the world of rock, there are certain subgenres that work so much better for the French language than others. Like pure rock, I always find like when I listen to Trust, you feel like they have to cram so many words into a short riff because the French language is a descriptive language and uses more words or more syllables often than a language like French or Dutch, that sometimes can be a little bit more direct. But black metal seems to be a really, really good fit for French music. Have you guys ever thought of it in that way, or are you thinking like, what is this idiot talking about right now?
I don't know. I think it's been quite kind of weird. I mean, the relationship that people have with French language, because in the 90s we were actually the first black metal band to come out with French lyrics, and they were kind of skeptical. Sometimes, people liked it, but a lot of people disliked it. At least, this did create a strong identity for the band.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we just dropped the French lyrics, and we came back with the French lyrics like 5 years ago with the two last albums. But what I mean is that I think it has taken some time for the people to get acquainted with the French lyrics. And when you hear other bands like Alcest and stuff, I mean, I think they have helped in a way to get people more familiar with this language. So, I mean, in the 90s, it was kind of difficult.
Now that you talk about,
there were very few bands who dared to sing in French, and also in their native languages such as German and other languages. And now it seems like a kind of more regular for bands to sing in the native language. At the time there was just Norwegian people doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Now, when you think about those early days, Heimov, I know that you guys celebrated 20 years of the band with Les Blessures de l'âme, but these milestones, you guys are now 30 years a band. Not many bands get to those milestones, and labels always want to see you celebrate those things, and often the fans as well, with special shows and reissues and all that kind of stuff. For you guys who love history and have been there so long, do milestones like that matter to you? Like, do you describe yourselves as nostalgic people?
I wouldn't say so, that I'm such nostalgic people. I guess that was possibly a better period for black metal in the 90s in terms of history, mystery, everything that it is supposed to trigger, something that has vanished throughout the years. But I think with Seth, we've managed to go through the years, and that's the good thing. So it means that we have a good future ahead. So I'm very happy, and yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
I am a nostalgic guy, so always.
Yeah. Good. So you're already looking forward to the special 30th anniversary show with guillotines on stage and all that kind of good stuff. Fantastic. So maybe let's use that as a segue to wrap us up, because we're running out of time fast here, and I want to be respectful of your schedule. Your guys are going to be promoting this album, starting with special event for the release day, but we're gonna see you play. We're gonna see you play a lot, and we were just joking about guillotines on stage. But you guys, you have definitely embraced the more theatrical side of yourselves with this band. For the shows coming, given that you've got now these two albums that fit really well together from a story-wise, what should we expect from a Seth show in 2024?
We are still working on the scenery of the gigs, so it's very important for us, as you noticed.
One guillotine for one musician.
Yeah, exactly.
So six guillotines on stage.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
When one musician is making a bad note, cut his head.
Yeah, and every crowd surfer that comes to the stage has to run for their lives as well, and stuff like that.
So right. if we cut every musician head whenever they do bad notes, then we're gonna have no more musicians at all.
Yeah. Now, but is it like, just to be serious for a second, would that be a bucket list item if you could do like this massive 30th anniversary show with focusing on these two albums and really bring them to life in a more with a visual production, like assuming like resources and timing allowing and stuff like that? Is that something that you're interested in, or is it like
very important since we are back with the Blessure de l'âme celebration? It's very important to have a scenario and to have a show on stage. So
yeah.
it's a part. It's part of the music, of the feeling on stage, and the magic. So definitely, just imagine if we had like all the possibilities and the money to do a huge show. It would be like 6 guillotine, like St. Amos. No, I'm kidding, but definitely it would be impressive. We should do it impressive because we are really enjoying this kind of like it would be different, but like you see a Vatain show, there is something just, it's hell on stage. It
Right.
would be different because it's not the same feeling with Seth, but we definitely would do something great. And we are working now. We hopefully are going to play the new album after the summer, and we are working now to make the best show of it.
Now, I know that you guys are on a tight schedule, so we'll wrap it up here, but I look forward to seeing more announcements of those shows for after the summer, where we will have a crazy experience of Seth on stage, and I hope that you guys will play all over so that everybody can enjoy it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. I'm super excited for all the fans to experience the full album when it comes out in really just a few weeks from now. So that's really exciting. Thank you so much for your time. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your very interesting questions and for your interview.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.